Until next time,
live your life with love and light.
And keep on creeping on.
Bye.
Bye. Until next time,
live your life with love and light.
And keep on creeping on.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey Paranormies, it's Alice and Jen, and you're on the light side of the paranormal.
So we are back at Alice's salon, and we came here to film a different video, but this turned into something else, and we started walking around the salon to try and debunk that sound that we caught on camera from the last investigation that we did here. If you didn't watch that video, we will link it up top. Over here. I'll insert the clip here of the sound. And if you had watched that video, you would know that we debunked it as a sound coming from outside of the salon. So somewhere else in the building, we could hear other businesses and living spaces, their doors opening and closing. It wasn't that. We heard people coming up and down the stairs, closing the main back door. It wasn't any of those sounds. It was coming from inside the salon, and when we returned, there was nothing out of place.
Yeah, like to me, initially, I thought this is the sound of a shampoo bottle from behind the camera being like hucked across the room or something and then settling. But then we started reading the comments.
Some of you guys had some really good thoughts. And originally Sarah was with me when I was editing, so we were listening over and over again, trying to figure out what it was. And her suggestion was that it sounded like a door, and then the little click at the end might be like pushing in the lock. But some of you guys in the comment section left ideas as well. So Ken Bator, B-A-T-T-O-R, sorry Ken if I'm mispronouncing this, said the noise sounded like something falling, like a folding chair that was leaning against something falling. Super specific, but I can see the, the sliding out and the.
It sounds like that. It completely sounds like that, but there's no folding chairs around here or anything resembling a folding chair or anything leaning up against a wall that could be sliding like that. But that was a really good suggestion, so thank you for commenting that.
Gamma Bob commented, is there a drawer in that area? To me it sounds like rolling and slamming. There are a few drawers, but what we're going to do is we're going to walk around and try and find the sound.
Including every single drawer that is in here.
I think it's important to note that little click that's delayed at the end because they seem to go hand in hand. Like we said before, when we got back, nothing was out of place and we didn't notice anything open that shouldn't be open. No shampoo bottle falling in the sink, nothing like that, because originally we thought it was coming from the hair washing station, which would make sense because later on in the evening we had a lot of activity talking about that room, but nothing out of place.
No.
And the fact that nothing was out of place kind of makes it seem like it might have been a door opening and closing or a drawer opening and closing.
It also just makes it all the more strange and creepy.
Yes.
So there wasn't anything like obviously different.
Right. And of course we only were filming one corner of the room where we were told to film. And it didn't really seem like it was coming from that area. So we were going to walk around and we were going to figure out what that sounds, or at least try.
Taking you along with us to debunk this sound.
You ready?
Let's go. Come on.
So we're gonna start at the beginning, the front door. And in the original clip, I kind of muted the sound of us leaving and closing the door so that I could do the voiceover over top, but I did listen to that sound. That sound wasn't the same sound as us gently closing the door and locking it. However, when the door is kind of just pushed shut, it does sound similar. Demonstration.
So we're getting that clunk clunk. Like we're getting those two sounds.
Yeah.
And it does sound just as loud. And it does sound loud because it's near where the camera was set up, which is almost exactly where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
But the click at the end is what kind of loses me on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be related to the kerplunk sound.
Right. So this is why, though, that it is not that door. One, we locked it, so you would hear it unlock before it opens and shuts.
Mm-hmm.
Two, when we came back, it was locked. So you would hear it lock again, which is this sound. Which is different from that click.
Because there's two clicks. That
And you
happen.
really got to push it in. The click sound that you hear is almost like my fingernail on the metal of the door handle. So there's no sound of it locking after, because when we got back it was locked. Yes, there's like a landlord and a super and stuff that could have come in when we were gone.
But they have to give 24 hours notice before entering, and they always do. Like they're really, really legit about stuff like that.
And walking up the stairs, I don't think they would have seen the camera filming. They would have walked, you would have heard footsteps of them walking in.
Yeah, you would have heard shuffling, you would have heard any other
Yeah.
movement after their kerplunk sound.
Right, and you would have heard them unlock, come in, close, relock. We don't have that. The bathroom door too,
Oh yeah.
we already tried that one.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
can scream.
clearly not that door, but we will prove it.
Okay. Very different sound. Very different sound.
Not that harsh metal kind of.
Yeah, like this is a metal door, the main door. This is a wooden door. So
Right.
they just sound different.
And it is a lot harder because that one's metal. It kind of swings on its own.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
This one you physically can't do that. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it creaks. And it was open when we left and open when we got back.
yeah.
Okay, so this is the hair washing room that we originally thought the sound was coming from. So there's two sinks, washer and dryer. I also thought possibly one of the washer and dryer like lids.
Oh, like something like this?
Yeah, so let's see. That's a very, like just a thud. One thud. That's a very,
I'm trying to get it to do 2 clicks. No, it physically
just
can't.
a thud. The only other thing in here is this cabinet, which is glass. I feel like, oh, that's so quiet. That's much softer than I thought it would be.
Oh,
It's
still just
not,
one.
It's almost like a latch. Like, oh, but this. It's kind of like that sound at the end. I don't know.
It's a little too wobbly though for it to make
Yeah.
such a specific.
And this
one.
is just a flat, like, it's
Yeah.
not like the
Clunk, clunk.
Yeah. Oh, that's really echoey.
all very loud sounds, but not the sound.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
So this is my trolley. They are pretty noisy. I guess you're up a little high, but okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and slam every single drawer in this.
That's settling. slide at all?
No.
That won't, because there's cords.
Which one?
Okay, so even if it is this, the force to like push this,
That's important to mention.
I'm just trying to think of how hard I'd have to push it for it to be that loud to hear it. I'm just trying to think of how hard I'd have to push it for it to be that loud to hear it over there on the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, see, and it gets stuck too because it's plastic, like they're plastic drawers.
Yeah, plastic on plastic. Yeah.
It sounds close, but
it doesn't sound the same.
yeah, like the trolleys aren't easy to move around, so if, you know, one was to say maybe it rolled and hit something, like...
Yeah, they're like... God damn it. They're real old, first of all, and full of hair, so they don't roll very well at all. Like, you couldn't...
So right here is the front desk. There's no drawers there. I don't know if you can see that.
There's the mix.
My food. But here at the color bar, there's drawers. So we're going to test this theory.
And there are lots of items in these drawers that would be settling if one was slammed.
No, it's not loud enough. They're soft close. Because originally I was thinking maybe it was that, and then the click after was some type of like one of these guys just.
Yeah.
It does sound like that.
It does sound like
just like settling after something had been slammed.
That could be what the click is. It doesn't have to go with the click sound.
I'm gonna go over the footage again and really zoom in because we were filming the color bar, although it's pretty far away. I don't know if you'd see anything, and something moved like that little.
It's worth cropping it in and looking.
I'll take a look and see.
No, that's not that.
Okay.
So I would say this is officially also debunked. So this is the area where we often get like the most activity with spirit box sessions. Spirits calling out to Lee. This is Lee's tattoo room. We also recently filmed a whole video in this room.
Was that same night?
Yes, true.
That same night, yeah. This is our...
Same night as the kerplunk sound.
Yeah, this is our most active room.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also divided. There was a wall put in to separate it from your office, which is right next to it. We've never filmed in there.
Yeah, because it's kind of messy and I don't like people seeing it.
And it's small.
Yeah, and it's dark, there's no windows or anything.
But when there was no wall separating the two, that was the area that we felt the most. It was one room. We've never even thought to go in there after filming in here. So
I'm just so used to seeing it as a separate entity, no pun intended, that I didn't even remember that it was all one room, but you're right, like the very first couple of videos that we filmed in here pre-renovations, it was all one.
Yeah, so we'll get to that part next, but this is Lee's door, wood. Let's go.
How many people's dogs barked when you knocked? Come on.
Oh my god! Okay, so originally,
it sticks usually.
It makes like a before it closes. That just went hard.
I swear I push it that hard. I'm the Hulk, actually. But yeah, like, it, see how it catches a little bit?
And it was wide open when we left, and wide open when we got back.
Yes, important to know.
So it would have had to be closed and then reopened, but there was no opening sound.
Okay, I'm just gonna, without any talking over it, show you what it sounds like when I'm like shutting it softly. So as we saw before, you really have to put a lot of force into it to make it go because the wood's almost like slightly swollen or something, or maybe the hinges are a little too tight, and so you get a bit of resistance when you're trying to close it normally. That's why I put a little bit of extra force in that originally. But I wouldn't say that it's the same sound.
Do it, push it a little bit, but not as hard as you did on the side. Okay, go a little harder. See if you can get it to close without slamming it. I mean, even if it was that, something with the force would have had to like... Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to fit. Okay.
So our last candidate is the office. This is also interesting to note. Like, it's all scratched up around the handle here. I don't know if you can see that from there. But it could just be like wear and tear from opening and closing the door. But like, I only really started noticing that the paint was chipping off like that in like the last maybe 2 months.
See your fingernails? I mean, you're not like...
Yeah, like I've...
Right. And you recently painted these doors.
Yeah, like I painted them during the Christmas break, I think.
Yeah, that's not that long ago.
Yeah, so they shouldn't be.
And like I feel like the bathroom door, if anything, would have that because it's being used by you guys and your clients. This is just you guys.
Yeah.
And it's all marked up.
So let's...
I think you can tell where we're going with this. This feels like the culprit here.
Yes.
And this door is always closed.
Because it's my mess, and I don't want people to see my mess. So this is what it sounds like if it was to close on its own. So we heard the kerplunk and we heard the click because I have witch's bells on the other side of that door that were gifted to me from a lovely rogue. And if you're watching this, Sarah, I really appreciate it. But that's freaking creepy. Also a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Light switch.
That's pretty close. In the original clip, like the original sound that we got, you don't hear the witch's bells unless they're delayed, which we'll film from inside there, show you what we mean. So if it is this light switch, the sound of it closing accompanied with this, you hear the bells. So it's not really the same.
Yeah.
Show you inside what we were thinking, which is the creepiest thing about this whole thing.
Yeah.
So we're inside. So these are the witch's bells that she has hanging on the back of the door. So the only way that there would be the delayed click is if this door was pushed closed by something.
Which we'll do now.
Yeah.
Well, like, because I'm picturing them like freaking Paranormal Activity style, like Poltergeist style, like levitating for a bit.
Yeah, well, what I'm picturing is, so you don't hear the door open, and it was 100% closed when we left, but a lot of the little bumps and creaks that you hear in the hall could have sounded very similar to that, like quiet. Does it make much noise when you open it? Like, well, there, but like it doesn't need to be open that much. What I'm picturing is whatever may have pushed it pulled one of these.
That sounds pretty freaking close to me.
Like it was all sucked up and then let go.
Right, like a gust of wind almost.
Some type of, yeah, I mean, but not really, no wind. There's no
windows in here.
No.
There's no fan or movement. In fact, this has become a storage closet more than an office because I find it really hard to be in here sometimes.
My only thing is that there's several like blunk, blunk, blunks when you do this, like, and we only hear one.
How close does it have to be to only make one?
Or hang on, what if it's That's more of a bell
More
sound.
bell.
Or, no, see, even that is. This is the closest answer that we have. This door,
We're not
and then the.
It's pretty close.
For the last, demonstration, the last experiment, I'm gonna put the camera exactly where it was when we filmed. Do this with the delayed and compare it to the sound, and we'll see how close it is.
Let's go. Can I try it with the light switch this time?
Yeah, but you'd hear the bells.
Oh, right.
Take the bells off. Were they there?
Yeah,
They were 100% there?
100%.
Don't even lock it, close it, and then wait a second and tap the handle with your fingernail.
Okay.
That's the closest thing, but it makes no sense. Okay, so we've figured out what sound it is, but it still doesn't compute because we locked it. You don't hear the unlock, you don't hear the relock, and how would somebody get in without you hearing the keys? Because when Allie came in and unlocked it, you hear it.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, about between the 10-minute and 20-minute mark after we left.
But it's also important to note, what's the thing that we always say about filming here?
But yeah, we look for answers and we end up with more questions.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And what is the scenario?
I know. And so, and there's no door on the hair washing station, FYI. It's just a door frame.
The other doors sound way more... The other doors sound a lot more like the kerplunk sound, but it's more and more seeming like a light switch as the click, which is again weird because nothing was different when we came back. Everything was as it was.
And the only light switch that wouldn't have shown up, in the filming where you see a light go out is your office because it's all enclosed, or Lee's, but her door was open, so we would have seen that.
Yeah.
So this concludes our video. We have no answers. We're still as freaked out. Well, we have suspicions, which we had before. Now that you've seen all of this and we've given you all the possibilities, comment down below again. We want everyone commenting. With all that in mind, what are your answers? What are your suggestions? Because we can make another video like this where we try other things. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and make sure to include in those comments, out of all the sounds that you heard in this video of us trying to recreate it, which one do you think is the most similar? And
in the next video we film here, we're going to try probably an Estes method in your office.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be filming more in the office. I used to think that I was uncomfortable in there because of the mess and because of the lack of windows, and it's very small and full of stuff. So I felt kind of claustrophobic in there and just a general feeling of discomfort. But as Allison, one of our co-stylists, as Allison mentioned, she feels weird in there. She doesn't like that room. And I was like, maybe it's not the things that I thought that's making me not want to spend time in there and take care of that space. Maybe it's because I'm uncomfortable energetically.
It's the same feeling we get when we're in Lee's room. Sidebar, what does Lee think of all of this?
Lee's kind of freaked out. She's kind of why does it keep bringing me up? And and she's just kind of hoping that it stops and kind of just along for the ride, I guess. She doesn't like it.
Is she interested at all in joining us in her room to do a session to figure things out?
I feel like she would be open to it, but she would need some really good protection beforehand, and she doesn't quite know how to go about doing that. But I think that if we helped guide her through that and made her feel really safe, I think she'd be open to it. Comment down below if you want to see that. Get Lee
I
involved.
think that's an important next step. They keep saying Lee and we want Lee. Obviously, we don't want to put Lee in the situation where they're saying we want Lee and we're saying here she is.
Yeah.
But she spends every day in that room. So if something like that dangerous was going to happen, I think that it would have happened already. I have a feeling that it's more so they want her there when they can speak to her through the box. They have a voice. Now can you be here to hear it?
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at TLS_paranormal. Also, Jen and myself have personal Instagrams. All that information is in the description box below. And sidebar, you should definitely follow Jen and Sarah on their podcast. And they also have an Instagram, Strange and Confused Pod.
Yeah, and a TikTok. All under the same handle. And you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time,
Live your life with love and light.
and keep on creeping on.
Bye.
Bye. Until next time,
Live your life with love and light.
and keep on creeping on.
Bye.
Bye.